Hey everyone, welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really going to dig into something fascinating, a problem that's probably bugged anyone who's tried to make music. Have you ever found yourself trying to record drums, maybe in a really small room, a basement perhaps?
Yeah, definitely.
And you're just thinking, how am I possibly going to get that huge, that big rock drum sound?
It's sort of a classic problem in music production, right? How do you get that big room sound without actually having a big room? Well, today we're doing a deep dive into a really fascinating story. It's about a Swiss producer, Urs Wiesendanger, and his almost secret solution back then. It was this unique audio unit he called the D.A.P, that stands for Drum Acoustic Processor. So our mission today is really to unpack the D.A.P, figure out how it was developed, what made it so unique, and, its legacy in music. We're going off the sources we have, and I think you'll find it pretty remarkable.
Oh, it really is. It's a fantastic example of, ingenuity born from limitations, especially when you think about the tech back in the early 90s. I mean, everyone else was jumping on digital reverbs, delays, trying to make virtual spaces. Let's dive into that small room problem, because I think so many people listening can relate to this.
Where did this whole idea even start? Well, the story begins early 90s. Urs Wiesendanger is setting up his very first recording studio, and the location, his parents' basement.
Huh, yeah, been there.
I mean, right. Definitely not Abbey Road.
Exactly.
And it's not just like a minor annoyance. Acoustically, it's a huge challenge. It really shapes the sound of so many home recordings. Small rooms, sound waves just don't have anywhere to go, right? They smack into the walls instantly, and that gives you these really harsh reflections. They're not nice, controlled echoes. They just make everything sound messy, cluttered, and you get super short decay times. The sound just bounces around real quick, and then poof, it's gone. No chance for it to sort of bloom naturally.
It just dies.
Right. And that leads to that classic boxy sound. And the sources say Urs felt really limited by this, especially when it came to getting those, big sounding drums he wanted.
Absolutely. But that's often where the magic happens, isn't it? Turning those obstacles into something useful. Urs didn't just see a basement, he saw a challenge. And the sources mentioned he spent like 6 months just experimenting nonstop, really pushing things, trying stuff out. It sounds like a proper hands-on trial and error mission to solve this very specific problem.
It sounds really meticulous, like something crafted purely from experimentation, not from a manual.
And that's the really interesting part, because you hear big room sound, you immediately think reverb, right? Echoes, reflections, simulating a space.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Digital reverb was becoming the thing.
But Urs wasn't doing that. Not really. This multi-stage compression and expansion thing, it was more like manipulating the perception of space dynamically. It was like he was making the sound itself seem to breathe or expand and contract, suggesting a bigger environment without just adding fake echoes, purely analog.
So after all that work, months of testing, trying it on recordings, Urs felt really confident. He knew he had something special. And that's when he teamed up with an equipment design engineer, Daniel Furrow.
Yeah, that was the smart move. Bringing in someone like Furrow was key to making it practical. Daniel's job was basically taking Urs's experimental setup, all those interconnected boxes probably, and streamlining it. He helped put that unique signal chain into one single unit, a custom-built 4-rack space unit, which made it way easier to use, obviously, but also meant it could be taken to other studios, maybe other small rooms. It turned this complex experiment into, a tool.
But here's where it gets kind of mysterious. Urs apparently never officially released the exact details, like the schematic, the precise signal path that made the D.A.P work. He just called the process room stretching technology. Simple as that. Which makes you wonder, why keep it secret in an industry that often shares techniques?
That really is the big question, isn't it? Why hold back something like that? Was it just about having a unique sound, a competitive edge for his own productions? Or maybe something more personal, like protecting this thing he'd poured so much effort into?
Could be a bit of both, I guess. Gives your work a signature sound nobody else has, but also, a sense of ownership. So, okay, this unit gets built. How was it used? When did it actually make its mark on music? Well, the D.A.P was actively used, according to our sources, between about 1991 and 1997, and you can definitely hear it sound on a lot of Urs's productions from that time. Let's talk specifics. One example mentioned is Greg Gali's album, This World. The credits actually show Urs played drums on that one.
Ah, okay. So the D.A.P was likely all over those drum tracks.
Exactly. But maybe the most intriguing example is an album by Alexander Jaggi called 7 Seas from 1992. Now, this one's apparently hard to find. It was never put on Spotify or Apple Music or anything. You'd probably have to hunt for it on eBay or Discogs, maybe find an old CD or cassette.
Wow, a real collector's item then.
Seems like it. The sources say that sonically, this album still sounds amazing today. Holds up against modern stuff.
That's incredible.
Think about it. Urs was working on a 16-track Atari tape machine back then. That's it. 16 tracks.
Yeah, worlds away from infinite digital tracks and perfect editing we have now.
Right. And it's not totally clear who played drums on Seven Seas, but Urs was a drummer himself back then, so it's pretty likely him. The advice is, if you ever get a chance to hear it, you'll be blown away. Especially the drums on the title track, Seven Seas, and another one called Hearts Go Their Separate Ways. Big, expansive sound.
It's really fascinating. Why would that sound hold up so well? From a 16-track tape machine in '92. I think it really speaks to the power of clever analog processing.
So what's the takeaway for you, listening to music from back then, or maybe hearing this stuff for the first time? It means that sometimes the sounds that really impress you, the ones that last, they don't always come from the most obvious or, high-tech solutions. Sometimes they come from sheer ingenuity, from thinking differently. So let's bring the story up to date. What's happening now? Urs Wiesendanger is still very much in the game, still works as a producer, a songwriter, and he's been based at Powerplay Studios in Switzerland for a long time. That's a legendary studio in itself.
And here's something really cool. Urs still owns the original D.A.P unit. And get this, only one was ever made. It's literally unique. A one-of-a-kind piece of audio history. It does make you think, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
About preserving these unique bits of analog tech. It's not just gear. It's like a physical embodiment of a specific innovation.
But one that actually made music history.
And here's the really exciting news, especially for anyone interested in audio gear or production techniques. Urs recently confirmed that he still has it. The original, one-of-a-kind D.A.P unit. It still exists.
Wow, it survived. That's amazing.
Yeah. It's not lost to time. It's still with the guy who created it. A living piece of audio history.
And what's really interesting now is what might happen next. While he doesn't apparently use the original hardware unit much in his day-to-day work anymore, Urs has said he's seriously considering making a digital recreation, releasing the D.A.P as an audio plugin sometime soon.
Get out. A plug-in.
That's the buzz.
Potentially, this room-stretching technology could finally become available to producers everywhere, taking it from this secret analog box into the digital world.
So quite a journey we've taken today, huh? From a producer stuck in a basement trying to get bigger drums.
It really is fascinating how one person's specific need, their ingenuity, led to something so, effective and enduring. The D.A.P is just such a great example that sometimes the biggest leaps forward don't come from following the crowd, but from digging deep with unconventional ideas, experimenting.
Exactly.